You know, when you think back on the most important moments in your life, a big job interview, a really tough conversation, maybe asking someone out for the first time, what's the one thing they all have in common? It's communication. It's this invisible thread that more often than not decides the outcome. So let's dive into why that is.
Have you ever felt like that? Like you're standing on the sidelines watching all these great opportunities just float on by, and you're left wondering, what am I missing here? It's a super common, super frustrating feeling. But the answer usually isn't about working harder or being smarter. It's about something else entirely. And here's the secret. The world is absolutely swimming in opportunities. There's no shortage. The real issue is the connection. The missing piece of the puzzle for so many of us is simply being able to communicate effectively. That's the link.
Okay, so how do we build that link? We're going to break it down into 3 foundational pillars. Let's start with the first one, which is all about a huge mindset shift. It's about moving from passively waiting for things to happen to actively making them happen. This is how communication doesn't just find opportunities, it literally creates them out of thin air.
This really boils down to 3 things you can start doing right now. First, adapt flexibly. That means reading the room, you know? Your approach in a serious meeting should be different from a casual brainstorm. Second, showcase your strengths. This isn't just listing what you're good at, it's about telling a compelling story about the value you bring. And finally, express charm. Now, this isn't about being fake, it's about genuine enthusiasm, a presence that makes people actually want to listen to what you have to say.
And you see this in the real world all the time. In any job, who gets the exciting projects? Who gets their budget approved? It's always the person who can clearly and passionately explain their vision and get everyone else excited about it. They aren't just given opportunities, they create them with their words.
But creating opportunities, that's really only half the story. The quality of our lives, when you get right down to it, is defined by the quality of our connections. And that brings us right to our second pillar, deepening relationships.
I absolutely love this quote because it just flips the whole idea of conversation on its head. So many of us are just obsessed with what we're going to say next, but the real art, the real skill, is focusing on what the other person is actually hearing. It shifts the entire goal from just performing to actually connecting.
This really visualizes that difference perfectly. On one side, you have this one-way output model. That's basically using communication as a weapon, where your only goal is to win the argument. It's like shouting at a wall. But on the other side, it's about building understanding. Communication becomes a bridge, not a battering ram. The goal isn't victory, it's connection.
So, how do we build that bridge? Well, it all starts with empathy, with actually trying to see the world from their point of view, instead of just waiting for your turn to talk. Once you do that, you can express yourself sincerely and clearly. And when that happens, the goal just naturally shifts away from winning and toward building trust and harmony.
So, we've used communication to create opportunities and to deepen relationships. This third pillar brings it all inward. It's all about accelerating our own growth. This is where you really see how communication is the fuel for personal progress.
This is such a critical insight. When we get stuck on something, what's our first thought? Usually it's, I'm just not skilled enough. But what if the problem isn't a lack of ability, but a lack of expression? It's not that you can't get over the wall. It's that you haven't been able to communicate that you need a ladder.
And this is exactly how communication acts like rocket fuel for growth. By clearly expressing your needs, you get the right support. By effectively asking for help, you tap into other people's expertise. But, and this might be the most important one, you have to master your internal dialogue. The way you talk to yourself, the stories you tell yourself, that sets the ultimate limit for how far you can grow.
So when you bring all 3 of these pillars together, creating opportunities, deepening relationships, and accelerating your own growth, you get something truly powerful. You arrive at the final outcome. Your voice becomes your influence.
I know, influence can sound like a big, intimidating word, but let's just simplify it. All it really is the degree to which you can positively impact the world around you. And as we've just seen, that impact is built entirely on a foundation of communication.
So how do you build it? Well, you've got to level up. You move from just informing people to truly inspiring them. You stop just presenting dry facts and start conveying your ideas through memorable stories. And you go from just talking at people to creating a genuine resonance with them through crystal clear expression.
And look, this isn't some new age concept. Think about any major figure in history who really changed the world. What did they all have in common? They were all masters of communication.
They use their voice as a lever to move society, to inspire massive movements, and to build legacies that last.
This final quote just brings it all home, doesn't it? The altitude you reach, how high you fly in your career, in your relationships, in your personal growth, it isn't just determined by luck. It's directly tied to your ability to communicate effectively.
So please, stop thinking of communication as just a soft skill. It's not. It's the master key that unlocks everything else. And you know what the best part is? It's not some talent you're born with, it's a skill that anyone can build. So the only question left is your voice ready to change your world?